All right.
Hi, I'd like to welcome you tonight. We're going to get started. It's just a minute after 7. And we are live streaming it, so we're going to start on time. We have just a little quiet break. Super. I'm Maureen Jordan. I'm co-chair of Chesterfield Township Democrats. We have a super program tonight, lots of announcements, and a very special and energizing guest. So, we're going to get started. I was going to tell you we've been collecting signatures on a reproductive rights petition. I can tell you that they're going fantastic. The coalition isn't going to be really giving out any numbers because the opposition is out there fierce, but they said we are ahead of schedule, so that's really, really good. And I've been having people sign myself, they're very enthusiastic. So, all good. And if you haven't signed, you can sign over here. So, but in bad news, that's the good news. The bad news, you all know the Republicans are trying to change the petition process. And so I'm going to look at this because it got kind of complicated. Right now, you have to get 8% of the votes in 5 districts, and then the whole state has to vote to approve something. What they want to change it to is a majority vote in 6 districts and a total majority vote, which is going to make it very difficult. They also put some little things like the bill would require signatures being done in only black or dark ink. That signatures gatherers be citizens of the United States, residents of Missouri, or physically present in Missouri for at least 30 consecutive days prior to the collection of signatures. It prohibits compensation for signature gatherers for the number collected. And that's a really bad one because you gotta hire people to help, hire companies that do this for a living. So, the House passed a version of this, was ballot candy. Ballot candy is something they put on to say, they'll start that with a voter, and the voter will say, oh yeah, I gotta sign that. Because what they want to do is limit us. One of the things that they said was only U.S. citizens can vote. Well, duh, only U.S. citizens can vote now, but a lot of people might not think that. They say, I gotta sign this. So, thank goodness for our Senate Democrats. They filibustered this bill for over 20 hours, and by an 18 to 12 vote, with 9 Republicans joining them, the conservative Republicans, not the crazy ones. They passed it without the ballot count. So, what happens next? I talked to Deb Lavender. The clean Senate version will go back to the House. The GOP has already stated that they want to put the ballot candy back on there. So they don't know. They said it could be a tight vote. They might put it back on, or they might not. Chances are they're going to try to put it back on. So then they have to go back to the Senate. Now all this takes time. You've got to have hearings and all that stuff. I'm just speeding it up here. So anyway, will it go back to the Senate with ballot candy or not? We don't know. We also don't know if the Senate would pass it with ballot candy because they've already said they don't want it. That would be good because then it won't pass at all. So we'll have to see, but there's a lot of pressure to get this passed. Now this is sort of the bad news. Parson, of course, will put it on the August primary, okay? Because then it'll impact anything 30 days after. There are people, the Association of Realtors have a PAC. They are very much against it, and they've spent between $4.5 and $5.5 million to influence other changes to the petition. So we have the petition process. We're going to have some help on this from them. So the bad news is, when will our petition be on the ballot? We say, great, they got August, we'll have November, and it'll bring all these voters out. Deb said he could call a special election, is what he might do. And there's a good chance he could do that because he knows what's going to happen. He could flip some seats to Democrats with the turnouts. So that's the bad news. We're just going to have to follow it. There's not much we can do about it. So that was the end. Okay, so now back to the better part of the program. Kathy Paulsmeyer, you're going to talk about some of the things going on with the Democrats. She's already started.
Yeah. Okay. I printed out a handout because there are a lot of dates that I want to remind you of. They're important for election process. First of all, I'm Kathy Paulsmeyer, and I'm the committee woman from Chesterfield Township. So I'm really glad to see all of you here tonight. We know that we have a presidential primary coming up. It's Democrat run. March 12th is the last day to request a mail-in ballot. So you just go to MissouriDemocrats.org, and right there it says request a ballot, right on the front page. We also have an in-person primary, and it's not going to be where you usually vote. There's just one location here in West County, and it's at the Union Hall on Wideman. So it's local 655, it's 300 Wideman. The address is on the sheet, that's so you don't have to try to take notes. So once we have the presidential primary, then we have a meeting to elect delegates to go to the convention, the congressional convention first, and that will be on District 2. So April 17th is the Chesterfield Township mass meeting, and this is where we will elect the delegates. And that's gonna be at the Chesterfield City Hall on the Parkway, and it starts at 7 p.m. Now, to vote for this is to vote for delegates to represent Chesterfield. So you have to live in Chesterfield Township. And I know a lot of people here live in Chesterfield Township, but some of you do not. And you can go to the St. Louis County Board of Elections website and look up the sample ballot and put your address in, and then we'll tell you everything about where you can vote, what district you're in for the state and the national. And it also tell you if you're in Chesterfield Township. So we're meeting at the Chesterfield City Hall. To vote, or to come to that meeting and vote, you have to have voted in the primary. And I guess they're gonna send us a list of names who voted in the primary. And you attend the meeting, and at that meeting, you would sign a paper to say that you are a Democrat. You don't have to be registered, but you are a Democrat, just like we used to. With primaries, we would get either a Democratic ballot or a Republican. And that you voted. Now, if you want to run as a delegate, then you do have to register as a Democrat. And I gave, the steps here on the sheet, so I won't go over it. And if you are elected, then you would go to the different meetings to go up the line until eventually some of us would be able to go to the National Convention in August. So you find your website, find your township. Okay, now I have, does anyone live in Queenie Township? If you live in Queenie, Lafayette, or Missouri River, I do know where those meetings are gonna be held, so if you see me after the meeting, I can give you that information. Another big event is coming up in May. The St. Louis County Central Committee is having their annual gala to raise funds to help fund candidates and other things to help the Democrats in November. So this year it's going to be in May 11th. It's going to be at the Moolah Shrine Center. The address is here. They're going to have a VIP reception with Ken Martin, who's the vice chair of the Democratic National Party. And at 6, the doors are open for anyone who just wants to come as an individual. If you would like to have a Chesterfield table, we could do that. Tickets are $100 this year, and a table is $1,000. So there's 10 seats at the table. And you get a lot of information at St. Louis Dems, STLdems.org. Any questions?
Okay, thank you, Kathy.
Next we'll have Kathy Merrick, who will give some other announcements in case you need to know.
Hey, I have some good news. We have a candidate for state representative for District 98. That's Deb Lavender's old district, and her name is Jacqueline Zimmerman. She is a lifelong Missouri resident, a lawyer. She went to Missouri State. She has 3 little boys. She's a strong advocate for education, women's reproductive rights, and common sense gun legislation. So you're gonna love her, and she'll be here at our next meeting on March 27th. The bad news is we do not yet have a candidate for state rep for District 101, which Melissa Greenstein ran so beautifully for last time in 22.
I might have a lead.
Oh, ooh. Wonderful, that's great news, because what I was gonna do is ask if anybody has a lead, or if you.
I'm working on it.
Okay,
Good, great.
fantastic news. Well, if anybody else knows a lead to beat out Melissa's lead, but we want all the interest.
Yeah, by all means, if you can do it.
Contact Maureen Jordan. How would you like me to contact you?
Anyway, I'm on Facebook, online. You can get a hold of me.
Okay, you can find Maureen. Okay.
Put a note in the Chesterfield Township Facebook page.
Okay. Now, a couple of other quick things. We had hoped to have Lucas Coons to come back to one of our meetings this spring, but he's a very busy man and a very successful candidate, raising all kinds of money and he is gonna have a bigger event than we can house. And it'll be sometime in this spring, a large St. Louis County one that you will hear the time and place TBD at this point. Keep your eyes and ears open. And the last thing I wanted to mention is, oh yes.
I was going to say, West County Dems and South County Dems are working on a Lucas Coots event somewhere.
Great. Oh,
Super
fantastic.
duper.
Great, okay. So just, and all these candidates I've mentioned, if you can contribute and help their campaigns, just Google them, you can find their websites and help them out. And Joe Peerless is here this evening. You all know Joe, who's running for Senate District 15, and of course he has information on how to help his campaign. I know he'd love to have your support as well. And then finally, I just wanted to say, if any of you would like to join, and we hope you're all already members of Chesterfield Township Dems, and if you are a member, you may want to check before you leave. You may not yet have renewed for 24. But please continue to support us in election years in particular. We need your support. You need not be a Chesterfield resident or a member of the township. We like to contribute to candidates in election years and other progressive causes, as well as we have all of our boring Facebook and communication costs, et cetera, and we just, you're our only source of income. So thank you so much, and I'm gonna let Maureen introduce herself.
Well, I've got one more quick speaker. Melissa wants to give some hints for petition gathering. It'll be real short.
I promise I will be real short, because Fred's gonna be more interesting.
I don't know, man. I think you're just.
I'm delightful, I know, Fred. We need the microphone because people can't hear.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll try. Okay, so for those of you who have signed the petitions, thank you first of all for signing. If any of you have taken the training to gather it, if you haven't yet, I encourage you to. It's pretty easy, and then you can go out and help us gather signatures. If you've done it already, what they encourage you to do is, you'll notice that everybody has to do it, like each county is a separate page. So while you're standing around, like she's got one for St. Louis County, one for St. Louis City, because pretty much that's where we all are. But if you go out and stand around like at the mall, or you go out to a concert, all of a sudden people come from a whole bunch of different places. So you need to have lots and lots of pages and lots of boards. So it helps if you know a candidate who lost, like Melissa Greenstein, and you can cut up yard signs. You cut them in half, and then you can make one side for like Warren County and one side for Lincoln County, and you use rubber bands because it was super windy last night at the factory. Then you can make it really easy. So I have all of these like this, and when I go out, then they say, oh, I live in Jackson. I'm like, okay, here you go, sign here. Oh, I'm in Phelps. Here you go, right here. So just, if you're gonna do it, think about how you can do it easily, because you're gonna need like 20 different pieces of paper if you're gonna go somewhere interesting like that. Thank you.
Good tips.
Thank you. And I was gonna make one more comment. I was trained to say, go ahead.
Where can we get some, I was trained, but I only got 3 sheets of paper.
Oh,
Where
So
can we
when you
get more?
go back to turn yours in, because you have to like turn them in and get them notarized, you can say to them, hey, I'm gonna be doing more, can I, like, they'll give you more. You ask for, hey, I want 10, or hey, I want 15. But if you're only gonna be doing something like this, you don't really need 15. If you're gonna be signing up for,
I need 4.
okay, they'll give you 4. I asked for 20, they gave me 20. Like, and then I needed 20 more, they gave them to me. I mean, I went through my 20 and I needed more 20.
All right, I thought maybe there was some place we could go get them.
No, you're only gonna get them when you turn your other ones in.
One quick thing, I was trained, I was on the very first training, and they said, we spoke to people and asked them if they'd like to end the ban for abortion in Missouri. People get confused, because they're not paying attention. They might say, they want to ban abortion. I learned that really quickly. One woman came back today, student said, what did I just sign? I want to make sure I assured her she signed the right one. It's better to say, would you like to sign a petition that lets women have a choice of their own reproductive rights or something like that.
Or put reproductive rights on the ballot.
Or put reproductive rights on the ballot. Phrase it that way. So I learned today. So, all right, we are ready to get to the fun part. We have a special guest tonight, Fred Wellman. And Fred is an American political consultant. He's an Army combat veteran, a media personality, which you will see. He advises political candidates and nonprofits and political action committees. That's where the money is. He's engaged in pro-democracy efforts as well as managing his own podcast, newsletters, and national media. He's got a great podcast. You'll really enjoy it. I've been listening to it, so I'm going to give you a little bit.
Thanks. That guy sounds amazing. Oh, you're right against the part, yeah. Hi guys, thanks. For those who see me speak before, I'm sorry you're going to hear some things again. Maybe, you never know. As you mentioned, it's funny, I always think when I talk to people that when I was a young officer in the Army, not that young, I was a captain in the Army, I flew scout helicopters. I was the 101st Airborne Division at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. And we had this great mission to fly down to Texas to do a counter-drug mission on the Rio Grande. It was pretty cool. We'd never done that before. We're going to work for the Border Patrol. And as fate would have it, I flew the lead aircraft down there, my scout, 3 days in a scout helicopter with no air conditioning to Texas in the summer. So you see where this is going, right? And so I get down there, I had all of one other flight to go, it's just, so no big deal because all my luggage is coming on the C-5A from Fort Campbell, right? Big damn gut. I'm gonna take, and brings the Apaches and my bosses and bosses and bosses. So they get in the aircraft in Fort Campbell, and of course one of these Midwestern thunderstorms hits and strikes the C-5 lightning, with lightning, right? So they're stopped. But the problem was my boss was supposed to brief the commander of the Border Patrol in all of Texas the next morning, right? And this is old school. We didn't have like the email, PowerPoint. We had paper. And I luckily had folded up the briefing and stuck it in my flight bag before I left, right? So I roll on up to the Border Patrol in a flight suit literally covered in oil and like, sweat stains, a hat that had been, sweated through because it's Texas and we're unloading aircraft. And I take out my paper copy of the PowerPoint. I go, sir, I know you're expecting a big dog and pony, but all you're getting is the dog. They all laugh and said, yeah, we like dogs down here. I'm like, all right, so anyway, so you're all getting a dog. And here I am. So as she mentioned who I am, I used to mention I was an Army veteran. I own my own firm. I did a PR firm for 10 years after that. How am I in politics? I don't know. It just, how are any of us in politics? For me, there was a pandemic. I don't know if you saw that. There was this global pandemic. And I closed my company. And this old guy I met when I was in Iraq named Steve Schmidt had become a friend and a mentor. And I called him as I was closing my, I ran a field hospital in New York. There's a lot of stories. And while I'm running this field hospital, for COVID in New York, Steve Schmidt calls me and says, hey, I probably got to close my firm after 10 years because, we're super broke, which sucks. And, it's okay. So I called Steve a month later and goes, hey, I said, I'm closing this down. I was any ideas what I should do? He goes, come work for us. I'm like, doing what? Be at the Lincoln Project. I'm like, doing what? Veterans. I'm like, and he goes, you'll figure it out. And I said, Steve, I've never done politics. He goes, you work for 4-star generals, you've done politics, which is a good point. Anyway, so that's how I became a political guy. I joined this thing with the Lincoln Project as a senior advisor for Veterans Affairs. And then I got this wild hair to take over as the executive director the day a massive crisis broke out. That was great. My first Zoom. You're in politics and you go on a Zoom and the boss goes, hey, that New York Times story came out. I'm sorry, what? New York Times story? What New York Times story? Oh yeah, John Weaver, apparently he was talking to men on the internet, like, oh, for God's sake. Anyway, so that went horribly awry. But here I am, and after that, I got a record, after I saved them and left, I helped a couple candidates run for office, a guy named Marcus Flowers in Georgia, running against Marjorie Taylor Greene, super fun race. Luke Nixon running against John Kennedy in Louisiana, Another fun race. I love easy races. This time I'm helping this guy as a friend, and then I'm helping a guy named Eugene Vindman run for Congress in Virginia 7. You know, the Vindmans are dear friends of mine, which is a weird story in itself, but I'm Eugene's senior advisor for his congressional race, and I think we're going to win this one, which would be awesome, because I'm really ready to win one. So why am I here? I don't know. But somebody already gave the message away, and the message I'm giving you is one you're not going to expect to hear. And the message is, we're winning. Okay? I'm going to spread some hopium. Okay? All right, so I hit some hopium on the way in. I feel pretty good about the world right now. And I know it's tough, and we'll get to that. And it's not all flowers and roses, I admit, but we're freaking winning. I know it's hard to see that sometimes, but we are. And how do I know that? Because elections matter more than polls. And we're winning elections right and left. And look, since Dobbs went down, I mean, you see it, right? We're winning elections. And something I hear a lot, people say, Fred, I'm worried about the polls. I'm worried about Biden's play. You know, he's old. Yeah, I'm sure we all are. You know, so is Trump, you know. I'm worried about the polling. And I say to everybody when they said that, I say, no, because if you hear a newscaster or somebody say, if the election was held tomorrow, well, your answer is, it's not. Shit. I mean, Jesus. It's in November. And it's freaking February. Okay? So stop saying that. It's not tomorrow. We got a whole 9 months to go, for God's sake. In the meantime, the economy's getting better. We just got revised today or yesterday, going to 3% expected growth. Did you guys see the ad from IKEA? They're lowering prices.
Really? Go IKEA.
IKEA's running an ad saying, you know what? We know times are hard. We're lowering prices. Yeah, somebody freaking talk to them. Okay, so when you got companies advertising they're lowering prices, people notice that. You go to the gas station, it's $2.93. People notice that. So all this hype, eventually they stop watching the watch Fox News, tells them all it's crumbling. $8 gas. Like, oh, bro, I just paid $2.50. It costs whatever. You know. The cognitive dissonance just sinks in at some point, then maybe we're not so screwed, right? Sorry, I told you I was going to cuss. Yeah. Prices of gas is steady. Jobs keep improving. Record job growth again and again. It just won't stop. DNC and Biden are flush with cash. I mean, let's be honest. Nobody wants to hear that because they're probably here in Missouri always. But, man, DNC is doing great. Biden's doing good. 53 million in January. I mean, those numbers are astonishing. I mean, Trump spent 50 million on legal bills, and now he's talking about taking over the RNC. Good luck with that. Yeah, I'm like, God bless you. I hope you do. I'm all for it. Go, Lara, go. I think Lara, I don't think they're even run a business. It's gonna be great. More power to you, sister. Yay. You know, they're gonna crash that thing. We have amazing surrogates, right? Have you seen Gavin Newsom? Kicking ass. Gretchen Whitmer, he's amazing, isn't he? He's such a great, Josh Shapiro from Penn, great surrogate. And they're loyal to Biden, and they're loyal to Democrats. And Hakeem Jeffries, holy cow. I've met him, amazing, okay? Raphael Warnock, he cried, I hugged him. Maybe he's very tall. And George is huge, man. I mean, this guy's huge. But what a speaker. But Hakeem Jeffries, I don't know, if you haven't seen Kamala Harris speak lately, who was the DNC fall meeting? Anybody else go? I was there. Oh, wow, that's kind of cool. Weird. I went to media. And Kamala Harris spoke, wow. She is doing great. The kids love her. She did an HBCU tour. The lines out the doors. You know, people are dismissing Kamala Harris at their peril. And why are we talking about Joe Biden's age? Let's all be honest about that. It's not about Joe Biden's age. It's about Kamala Harris's skin tone. Okay? And anyone tells you otherwise is full of it. Okay? That's the truth. It's a woman, a black woman being president. That's what they're fighting. That's okay, because we're winning, as I mentioned earlier. So, and I mentioned that, the thing tomorrow, the Lincoln Project, right? What did I tell you about the Lincoln Project? I joined the Lincoln Project. When did I join the Lincoln Project? August 2020. I want to think about that for a second. The election was in November. Okay? Just timeline wise. Okay? I joined 3 months for the election. And we created an entire veterans program. We had town halls, we had groups, we had chats, we had advertising. I ran ads on Stars and Stripes website. Didn't know you could run political ads on there. Turns out you can. Military Times, people were cursing me. It was great. Lost a lot of friends. It was awesome. But you know what? It worked. We just kept telling them, this guy should not be your commander-in-chief. Okay? This guy should not give, and it worked. So my point being the timeline. When the Lincoln Project was created, they ran an op-ed in December of 2019. They got the idea to have a PAC in February. It's February now, okay? They decided to do some ads, because Rick Wilson's really, by the way, ooh, that guy's crazy. Rick Wilson did some ads. Their first big ad that broke out was in May. It was called Morning in America, if you remember. They did the riff on it, right? Remember that? Broke out, Trump being an idiot, attacked him on the tarmac at Air Force One, $2 million in one weekend. Their budget for the first year was $250K. Ended up being $81 million, which is crazy. And I took over. It was great. Sure, I could manage an $81 million organization. How hard could it be? I've never run a hospital either. How hard could that be? Anyway, so my point for telling you that, and they've had their problems, they're not what they were. But my point, though, is when people tell you there's no time, or that the polls are going to kill us, or that we're in trouble, we beat an incumbent president. And we're just getting started, baby. Right? We're just getting started. We're just ramping up. Neither of these two gentlemen are the actual official nominees yet. Right? Officially. I mean, no, they are. There's a guy. There's a nominee. you know, they aren't. So, save the hand wringing. I love it. I interviewed Jamie Harris at the DNC. And I like him. He goes, Fred, this is a no hand wringing zone. And I love that. This is a no hand wringing zone. Because let's face it, us Dems, and I was Republican before this, we love wringing our hands. Okay? We don't do wringing hands, okay? There's too much going on. But like I said, we're winning. You guys saw the special election in New York 03. Okay? George Santos' seat. Okay? Interesting stuff. And what's interesting about that one, and I talked about my podcast, if you've seen this already, I apologize. But what's interesting about that for me was how many reporters and pundits said they talked to voters. And voters were going in to vote. And they said, I voted for Trump. But these people are freaking crazy. This Congress has passed 20 freaking laws. The most ineffectual Congress in history. We talk a lot about, remember, our next show, this Friday, interviewed a guy named Kevin Cruz, who's a historian. And Kevin did a piece about the Do Nothing. Remember the Do Nothing Congress in 1948? Truman ran against, our guy Truman ran against the Do Nothing Congress. They actually passed 150 bills. They're all Republican. Mood Hawley tariff, that was them. Anyway, point being, that Do Nothing Congress was astronomically better than this piece of crap. Okay, 20 bills. Government shuts down in 3 days. Partial shutdown in 3 days. They don't have a fucking, sorry, darn plan. They don't have a freaking plan. They're not going to pull it off because they're just incompetent. Friday night at midnight, they'll do another extension because they just can't do it. That's our secret power. And people were telling reporters to their face, I'm a Republican, I'm voting for Swazi because this has got to change. We need to govern. That's a big thing. People are tired of the stupidity. I mean, I can't. Pennsylvania special election the same day. So Pennsylvania, hold the House in Pennsylvania. We held Supreme Court seat in Pennsylvania. Ohio approved their ballot measure, as you remember, for reproductive freedom and marijuana. Interesting. Virginia Dennis, where I used to live. Hey, you guys, I like to talk about that one. So Youngkin thought he had it figured out. 15 weeks, baby. That was Youngkin's big thing he figured out. We're going to have a 15-week abortion ban. See, it's not 6, it's better. It's not really a ban, it's 15 weeks. They thought, you guys would not really believe how many articles I read, how many experts and pundits like, oh man, we're in trouble. Youngkin figured it out. They got the secret sauce. We're not going to be able to win an abortion because 15 weeks isn't really 6 weeks. It's great. How'd that go? Didn't, right? Total failure. Because a ban's a ban. And the pundits and the right keep hoping y'all are going to forget. They think women are going to forget when they wake up every day and worry about their reproductive choices. That women are going to forget, young women, like my daughter, is going to ever forget who took away her right to reproductive care. Both sides. She has endometriosis, so she's worried about getting pregnant, and she's also worried about not getting pregnant. They just put both those things away from her. Okay? I assure you, my 26-year-old daughter ain't forgetting shit, no matter how long it is to stop. Okay? And so all those Republican pundits, hoping you will, we passed the bad stuff earlier, they forget. Ain't nobody forgetting, y'all. Okay? And so you got Trump. I love how guys said, Trump said, well, 16 week. It's like, do you guys ever see Something About Mary? The movie said, remember the guy he picks up the side of the road, he goes, I got something better than 8-minute abs. 7-minute abs. Right? That's Trump. 50-week ban, 60-week ban. It's the same stupid shit. It's a ban. And we got to fight that. And that's all they've got. They're desperately throwing spaghetti against the wall on this topic. And now we've got the Alabama IVF. Okay? Hand it to us on a platter, ladies and gentlemen. It just, here you go. And they've got a Supreme Court Chief Justice who's going on TV talking about he's trying to get God's will implemented in American law. Thank you. As someone, I was a Lincoln Project guy, guys, so I'm sort of the bad guy. I need to get that figured out. We used to joke that every team needs a black hat, right? Do you guys ever watch Ted Lasso? I mean, Ted Lasso people, Jamie Tart, right? Every team needs a Jamie Tart. That was Lincoln Project. You need that one guy who's going to draw the yellow card, right? Every team. You know, we got two. I've had a history of being the black hat guy. It's cool. I'm cool. It's fine. But my point being, thank you, Republicans. Please keep screwing up. Please keep telling us your idiot plans because we appreciate it. You just took away a woman's right to have children. 2% of American babies a year are born through IVF. Guess who's doing that? I assure you, it's not the women they think it is. It's nice people who look a lot like us folks, who live in places like where we live, who want to have kids. And now we're being told they might not. I interviewed Colin Allred today, running for Senate against Ted Cruz. And Texas is next. He's ready. Just a matter of time. I'm getting over the place. So, yeah. That compliments the school board members. We've got a school board member here, right? I voted for you, sir, in Rockwood.
I didn't vote. I did not.
Okay, whatever. So I lived in Wildwood up until recently, okay? And how did we beat the Moms for Liberty candidates? They got an absolute wallop, didn't they? Right here in St. Louis. They banded together, they ran together, and we beat them. And man, Moms for Liberty got their asses kicked nationwide, okay? They're falling apart, other than the whole recent thing, which that's a whole lot. There's a whole lot there. Woo, there's a can of worms there. I don't know what I touch. I touch all the time on the internet, but not here. They got walloped, and they're actually falling apart. In Iowa, I mean, the organization's splintering. Our enemies can't keep it together. And here's the secret sauce of all of this, before we talk about the next piece of this, is they hate each other more than they hate us. Right? You know this. Anybody's been in our Jeff City, seeing these idiots, the Freedom Caucus, and their own, what we just talked about in this opening part about them fighting each other. They hate each other as much, they're so busy hating each other, they can't seem to hate us, which is why Crystal Quaid was such an incredibly successful minority leader, because she's brilliant at playing their own things. It's why Doug Beck's such a great senator, okay, because he's brilliant at playing them against each other. You saw that vote, 18-16, that shouldn't have okay, that means Republicans are on our side of this. But we face real danger, and it's not from Trump. So here's the negative part of this whole discussion. It's not Trump anymore, is it, right? I mean, look at Missouri. Look at the flamethrower idiots, okay? The flamethrower fools, I call them. You know, Nathaniel got Eigel and freaking Schroer, what a pair of idiots those guys are. They're fades, they're stupid beards. But then you got this lady who's running for treasurer or whatever state, Secretary of State, gonna burn books. She actually checked books at the Springfield Library and burned them on camera. Made national news from Missouri. Freaking clowns. Okay? It's a clown show, and they're all clowns. So we know how bad it is. You've got I said the Freedom Caucus, well, and then of course we just know they just killed the rape exceptions, incest and rape exceptions, and made national news once again when that idiot Eigel said, well, according to this law, a 1-year-old could get an abortion. I mean, I don't know how Doug Beck does it. I don't know how you do it, Joe. Me, as you can see, I have no poker face whatsoever. I used to, as a PR guy, I work for generals. When you work for generals, you go, oh, yes, General, it's a great idea. You realize you're all going to get killed, right? Okay. You go ahead, I'll stick it. That's okay. But now, I've been out in the Army for a while, now like, what? 1-year-olds can get pregnant? Are you stupid? Yes, they're stupid. But that's where we are. So we see it here in Missouri. And let's talk about my favorite topic these days. I posted a bunch of videos today about it. Project 2025. Who's familiar with that? Yeah, not enough. Yeah. Okay, so for those who aren't, I want to talk about it a little bit. Project 2025 is a $22 million funded effort led by the Heritage Foundation with now 85 other groups. It's essentially, so every year, every cycle, Heritage does their little blueprint for the Republicans. They've been doing it since Reagan. And for those of us who are old enough may remember that Heritage actually used to be a respectable organization. I used to do events there when I was in D.C., working in D.C. And then Trump, okay? And Trump happened to the Heritage Foundation. So now instead of doing like a little policy blueprint, They've organized 85 groups, got $22 million. They're recruiting an estimated 35,000 people to take over the government. With that one, they're going to use a thing called Schedule F, which is a thing that Trump tried to do, which makes every single government employee an at-will employee, meaning they can be fired. It's insane. It's insane. Let's give you some numbers if you watch my show. There are a total of, well, there's millions of federal employees. There's only a total of 4,000 political appointees. Do you know that? So each administration comes in, they have 4,000 people they have to get, which is hard. That's really hard. By the way, most of them don't pull it off within a year or two. It takes a while. One of the most organized, Obama did a great job. Trump, complete train wreck. Like the guy was had acting people till they left because he's just incompetent. But it's only 4,000 appointees they control. There's 8,000 what we call SESs. You remember that? Senior executive service, right? Those are the bosses of the federal service, right? They're actually like a general officer in rank. So I'm not a math guy. 8 plus 4, okay, that's 12. 12,000 people on the bubble. They're recruiting 35,000. And what does that tell you? IRS, FCC, what was it? The budget guys. They talked about when they did this when Trump was still in office. The guy that runs the budget office estimated 85% of his people could be Schedule F. Imagine a bunch of MAGA right-wingers taking over how we do our budgeting process. They plan to do mass deportation. You may have seen some news about that lately. Camps on the border. I did a whole video about it. I served in Iraq. And my first tour I did civil affairs, which means I was a pilot, which is weird, but here we are. 101st Airborne, you do whatever you have to do. And so I ended up running the whole site, the sector around our base in Mosul, near Mosul, called Key West, which became famous later because that's where we actually did our fight just recently against ISIS. So I was the founder of Key West, and I ended up running into local Iraqis, and okay, you're in charge. Like, okay, we have tribes here? I had no idea they had tribes. Okay, I'm in charge. Drank bad water, got sick for 10 days. It was awesome. Ate a lot of sheep. Gotta love sheep. I love kebab though. So having said that, one day I was sitting, I worked with a guy named Dr. Muhammad. He was the sheikh of the villagers all designated of the villages to talk to me first because he spoke English. He was a medical doctor, so he knew medical English, he used to say. But so he could come to me and talk. So he actually came to me at my base, and we became friends. So one night I'm in Dr. Muhammad's house. He says to me, I said, I was frustrated. We had bombs starting to go off on Highway 1. Often in broad daylight, right? And they're pretty peaceful at first. I was first invasion guy. And I said to him, I said, Muhammad, I don't get it. I don't get it. Why has no one reported this? I mean, they're driving the road. They're walking, the kids are out there. These people are planting bombs in the road. They have to see it. Why is no one saying it? He says, Major Wellman, you must understand. For 35 years under Saddam, you learned to survive by not seeing things. Okay? You didn't see when the black SUVs pulled up your neighbor's house and took the whole family overnight. You didn't see it. You didn't see when the village got raided next door. You didn't see it. Okay? Now imagine a deportation force that Stephen Miller wants. He wants to deputize the National Guard. So Missouri guardsmen, because it's a red state, our friend Parson or whoever follows up, these idiots that could be, imagine Eigel sending our soldiers, our daughters and sons from this beautiful state to Illinois to raid businesses, deputized. I'm a father, I have 2 soldiers in my family, I'm a soldier. They're fucking dumb, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I mean, I love my soldiers, but an 8-year-old kid with a gun and police powers, the right to kick down a door and arrest everyone in the room is not the answer in America. That's why we have posse comitatus. It's what they're talking about is a violation of everything we stand for. And I scenarioed this on my video the other day. Imagine you own a paint company, and you look like me, but your number one competitor looks like a guy named Juan. How do you get rid of your competitor? You call ICE, say, hey man, definitely illegals at Juan's painting. And this idiot Missouri National Guard kid, 18 years old with no training whatsoever, goes rolling into their Humvees and they arrest everyone in the place. Maybe they get released later. Maybe not one was illegal. What'd you just do to your competition? Eliminated. Then you go to all these countries. Hey man, I don't know if they're illegal or not, but do you want to mess that? No, I don't. That's what happens in a fascist, authoritarian state. And that's the freaking plan. It's a plan. They literally told us that's their plan. That's called second and third order effect. Sorry. Insurrection Act, that's a fun one. And when I did the Insurrection Act day one, direct control of federal nonpartisan agencies like the FTC or FCC and more. So let's say Trump doesn't like a company. That's, I don't know, Facebook. Just take away the business license. Or a TV station in St. Louis has to get their broadcast station. We'll just take them off the air and let Sinclair and the entire, right? That's what we're talking about. Turning DOJ on political appointments. They literally, their biggest thing they're trying to hire is lawyers. So it's really scary stuff. And my point with that is, it ain't just Trump anymore. Part of the problem I have with us, they call them resistors, I refuse to be one, is that we focus way too much on Trump, and you guys get it, living here in this state, we're well beyond that nut job, right? We got Nick Schroer, we got Ben Baker, possibly the dumbest person to ever get elected anywhere, okay? The guy is so dumb. Did you guys see him trying to explain his own bill last session? Because Alec had given him a bill, and of course our guy, I think it was Ian Mackey, love him so much. Oh. You're like, well, in page 3, paragraph 6, you said this. Oh, I did. They go on a retreat. If you see Nick Schroer's expenses, right? Go on a retreat in Arizona, Sedona. You get wined down. Alec hands them a packet of bills, and these knuckleheads just come back here and just run them home. Okay? That's the system. So you guys know it. But why do we win? How do we win? Well, common sense. Because that's the other thing. There is common sense still in America, and there's here. So, let's talk about things I call supermajority issues. Sorry if you've heard these before. I know some people haven't. I apologize. Supermajority issues. Let's talk about reproductive freedom. Our ballot initiative. 73% of Americans support women having reproductive rights of some form. Now, that may be 6 weeks in some of their minds, but even in red Missouri, red states, where abortion is completely outlawed, 53% of polled people say support a woman's right to choose. That means that's Republicans, right? Because it's common sense. I call that a supermajority issue because it doesn't cross party lines, right? 73% is a lot of people. We stand by that. What is a reasonable reproductive rights? They should have it. As I said earlier, women are just not moving on. Reasonable gun safety measures. And by the way, I'm so excited. I love current news. As I was coming in, SLU put out a new poll that I downloaded. Do you favor or oppose the following gun policies becoming law in Missouri? Red flag laws that allow court to temporarily remove guns from people that are believed to pose a danger to themselves or others. 60% favor. 25% opposed, 15% not sure. That's a supermajority of this freaking state. That ain't Dems, folks. Because it's reasonable. Let's talk Kirkwood. The shooting at the trunk or treat. You guys know about this? Right? It was a cop. But the scary part of that story is that nut job was chasing people around downtown Kirkwood on Friday night. Ran a lady off the road. When she called the police, they said, oh, it's the guy in a Jeep? They knew who he was. The police knew who he was. Knew he had guns. Knew he was acting like a lunatic. They told her to drive to the police station to be safe. Nutjob pulled off before he got there because he knew the police station was, because he's a freaking county cop. And he couldn't take his guns away because in Missouri it's illegal to take his guns away. And what did he do on Sunday? Took his weapon out and overloaded the magazine in the air, traumatizing our children because he's a nutjob. By any reasonable measure, his gun should have been taken away when he was chasing Warren around freaking downtown Kirkwood. It's illegal in Missouri to do that. Tell that story when people ask you about gun rights. Oh, so you're cool with the guy that shot up the trunk or treat? Oh, no, absolutely not. Oh, because red flag law would have stopped that. The police could have stopped him. But in this state, they would be sued for taking his guns away. That's not reasonable gun safety. So here's the numbers. This is from a Fox News poll from April. 87% of Americans support universal background checks. 80% of Americans support red flag laws. 81% support legal age of 21 to buy guns, and 80% require mental health checks to buy a gun. I'm not taking away your Second Amendment right. I just don't want you blowing my kids away because you had a bad day. Or you got mad. What happened in Kansas City? What do we know now? I can't curse. I call them, in the old days when we were all kids, because most of us are similar ages, I think, right? Words, bump chest, maybe a fist. go away. But in 2024, words, bump chest, bang! And a lady dies because some young kids were packing at a parade. Okay? Kids who should never have guns. But if they've gone to that parade with a strap across their back, it would have been perfectly legal in this crazy-ass state. So now, bump, ends up death. It's not right. They're going to try and change that conversation, but Joe's not going to let them.
No pressure.
No. Union and labor organizing, something dear to our heart. Supported by 71% of Americans. Been a banner year for unions, right? Actors, UAW, writers, UPS, healthcare, more coming. Starbucks, for God's sake. Nearly 3/4 of Americans support workers going on strike for better wages and benefits. I mean, these are democratic issues, right? Look at those numbers. We can run on those. Just say, this is what I believe in. And they'll believe you. When you talk to your neighbors, so you're cool with that, right? Yeah. You like better wages? Look what the UAW did. I mean, look what they got out of that. I mean, some of the stuff they're getting, bonuses, it's amazing, it's life-changing. I'll never forget. Was at the start of the strike, first night, I saw an interview on NBC. A woman said, the interviewer, she goes, why do you want to strike? She goes, we just want to be middle class again. I mean, what a statement. In like 6 words. We just want to be middle class again. Because they lost that in 2008. And so many of us had. Some of our fellow Americans had. And in the end, there was a great story about a young man who could move out of his parents' house. By the way, young, he was 35. Move out of his parents' house, quit his second job at Dollar Tree, and get his own house, get his own apartment. Because of the strike and the pay they got. And this is a man working on the factory floor 6 days a week. He had to live with his parents to make ends meet. That's not right. Have that conversation with people. Young people support labor movements. Let's see. Voters under 30 show 88% approval of unions and 90% for strikes. I love that number. The kids are angry. Kids are angry. Unfortunately, we don't have enough kids, so, which is an issue, right? As we pointed out in Joe's campaign, do you know that 3 years in a row now, Joe, tell me if I'm wrong, Missouri has had more deaths than births. We've had more exports than imports. They're killing our state. And we ain't alone. What's Jason Kennedy saying a lot lately? We're racing for West Virginia to the bottom. Right? I love that. I hate it, but I love it. I love good messaging. I'm sorry, I'm a communicator. I love a good political message. That's why I love Jason so much. All right, so uplifting at the end here. What's this for? So, well, how do we win? Just like you've been doing. Just like you did in Rockwood, right? We win, we do the work, we get organized, and my gosh sake, we keep the faith. Register and turn out. That's the big thing, right? Look, Crystal, I love Crystal. I can't believe Crystal's running for governor. She pulled me aside not long ago. She goes, Fred, I need 80,000 more Dems. Yes, I know you do. But here's the good news, okay? We got the Dems. Let's get them out. Remember I told you they'll hate each other. Okay? Republicans hate each other. Now, if you saw in South Carolina, again, Nikki Haley, the exit polls on Fox News, 54% of Nikki Haley voters said they will not vote for Trump if he's the nominee. Same thing in New Hampshire, right? Okay, same thing in the other state. So people, my friends keep, they'll change their minds. Look, man, so let's go back to that Lincoln Project, what we did. So the Lincoln Project goal, I love when I talk to my liberal friends, they go, I didn't get the Lincoln Project. You guys, your messaging never resonated. They're like, yeah, well, you were my target. I remember in Park City with a friend of mine ran for Congress. You're like, I hate your message. Like, great, I'm not trying to bill you. I'll make your money, though. Our goal was to turn 4 to 6% of Republicans that voted for Donald Trump in 2016 to not vote for him. That's it. Not 10, not 30. I love, nothing was better than we win the campaign, all of us, and I'm driving home from Utah back to here, and I'm listening to MSNBC on the radio, and AOC goes on to bash my organization. We barely won. What'd they do? I'm like, well, you're welcome. You could have just sent a note, I guess, but anyway. Way to build a team. Our goal was simple, 4 to 6%. Where'd that come from? Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon said in his speech, hey, look, these Lincoln Project guys, don't count them out. If they and the others can get 4 to 6% of Trump's voters to not vote for him the second time, we're done for. What was the margin? Well, for veterans, 11%. 11%. 100% shift for veterans. I'm not saying I did it, but I worked with some really cool people who helped. So you do the work, right? When Steve Bannon gets it, now let's ask ourselves a question. Do you really think Donald Trump getting that coalition back? I mean, come on. I know we all want to wring our hands about Donald Trump, but come on, okay? What's happened since 2016 or 2020? He's lost his mind even more, okay? He's not getting his coalition back. So we got to worry about the other guys. We got to worry about our little assholes and our little pool, right? Which is why you guys are here, right? We got to play our own assholes. And so we organized. And like I said, I talked about the rock. What I loved about that Rockwood last time. I lived in the school district at the time. We got 3 people together to go run for board, and what they do, they did a coordinated campaign. I've never seen a school board coordinated campaign before, and I loved it. And that did it. Here's our slate of normal people, and guess what they did? What did they do? They freaking won. They won because they worked together instead of fighting each other. They worked together in a coordinated campaign. They worked together using volunteers. They knocked doors. They did signs. Here's your not crazy slate. Here's a piece of paper, a list of not crazy people. Can I take this with me? Yes, please do. You know? Right? And we can win that way because people are tired of the crazy. They're just tired of it. We've been tired for a long time because this is what we do. But my friends on the other side of the aisle are tired of it too. Hence, Euro 3. Okay? Euro 3 was 7.5 points. Polls at 3. That's hell great. And it wasn't it's Santos. Nah, bro. They're sick of it. They're sick of the lies. They're sick of the incompetence. And where do we have that happening? Right here in Missouri. We're trying to pass one law. How many laws do you think they're going to pass this session? None, probably. I mean, these guys hate each other. They're not going to pass anything. They never pass anything. It's the most incompetent, useless legislature in America. And because they all hate each other. You know? This freedom caucus. What a bunch of fools. Talk to your neighbors, help candidates in any way you can. And you guys know this. It's the card, look, it matters. Right? So here's a candidate running for state senate. Thank you very much. Better man than me. There's a candidate running for Congress right back there. Filed today, didn't you, sir? Congratulations, both of you gentlemen, for filing today. They're going to need volunteers like crazy. Okay? They're going to need, I'm sick of that bad one. They're going to need postcards. They're going to need phone calls, phone banking, whatever you can do. One of my favorite things when I was working for Marcus Flowers in Georgia, number 14, which was an uphill battle from the beginning, was getting calls from people in Washington State, getting emails from people in work. Say, look, man, my vote's no good here. We're gonna win, you know. My blue state's gonna win, you know. What can I do to help you? I'm like, have I got a thing for you? You know, it's more than just money. I'm not any money. I'm a political consultant. Believe it or not, we actually don't make that much money. I'm actually not a very good one, as it turns out. You know, so. You know, you could do that. You guys know this. This is why you're at this meeting, is you're the activist. You got to convince the other 3 people in your neighborhood, the 1 or 2 Democrats who live in the neighborhood. My girlfriend lives in Wildwood, in Cherry Hills. Woo! Boy, talk about being a blue dot. I'm telling you right now, ain't a lot of signs in the yards in Cherry Hills. But nonetheless, we put the damn signs out. I live in Webster. I got it easy, right? That's why I moved there. I got tired of the death threats. I was kind of flying at the bar there. Wow, it was great. Super fun. Oh, you're that guy. And then the last thing is, the last thing I'll leave you with is keep the faith. We got people who are running stuff up. We've got the right messages. We've got the right president. Look, I wish he was younger too. But damn if he isn't competent. Does anybody have an idea how many cabinet positions have changed out in this administration? One. Labor. That's it. Imagine that. I mean, I like Mr. Obama. I mean, no drama Joe. That's his thing, right? No drama Biden. Obama was no drama Obama. Jesus, Joe makes it look like. I mean, maybe it's because he's sleepy. I don't know. But whatever I know is we got a super competent administration doing super great things. I'm a veteran. They put Mr. McDonough at VA. He wasn't a veteran. There was a little scandal about that. Holy crap, he's doing a great job. Because he's a really good administrator. And that's what we needed. Pete Buttigieg, fucking McKinsey guy, can administrate the shit out of stuff. And he is. You know, competent, no drama. It's hard to sell that, but that's what we got. And people will find out. Nobody wants to go back those days. And I'm hoping my peers in the PAC world will start, I think Lincoln's already gearing up. Just show you, we've all forgotten how stupid it was. I mean, the stuff he would say, my favorite thing to do is just translate one of his speeches. You know? Or even look at Beigel. I mean, they say the dumbest shit. Just run that, okay? You know, screenshot, run it. Here's your ad. This means a 1-year-old get an abortion. Oh, you're stupid. How are you so stupid? I'm more worried about a 13-year-old being raped. Why do you not care about the 13-year-old being raped? Colin Allred told me today that 27,000 babies have been born in Texas from rape since Dobbs. I think ours is 18,000. It's outrageous. And they don't give a shit till it's their own daughter. Remind them of that. Rub it in their face every chance you get. Oh, you want to save the baby? What happens when it's your daughter carrying the rapist baby? Oh, well, they'll sneak off in New York. Just like in the 70s. I grew up in Kirkwood. My sister was 10 years older than me. She was a cheerleader at Kirkwood High School. She had this one friend, took a vacation with her mom in New York City one weekend. Came back then. Everybody knew. We're going right back to that now. The people who have the privilege can go. And the people who don't will suffer. It ain't right. It's not what Democrats stand for. So, that's why you're here. That's my speech. I hope it doesn't bum you out. Potato not being paid. So. Go ahead.
We're gonna take questions?
Take questions.
I've got a question, I want to start.
Okay.
So you said we're good on messaging, and I
Yes.
have to disagree with you, because when they poll people on the actual things Biden did, they get all excited,
Yeah.
but they don't know.
Yes.
So how do we change that?
Exactly. So, I don't know. No, I do know. We do. Now, again, we're gearing up, and so Biden's finally got to what?
Sorry, I forgot to tell you, Fred. If you can, just because we're on live, if you can repeat the question. Because she doesn't have
good
mine.
point. Let me repeat the question. I don't remember what it was. Oh, I said I was good on messaging. We were good on messaging. But nonetheless, when people don't know what's going on, they don't know the economy's getting better, they don't know that Biden's doing all these good things. 100% true. I should caveat what I said. We suck at messaging, but we have good messages. We just got to get the messages to the receiver. I studied communications in the Army, right? And it's there's 3 aspects. I spent a lot of time drinking back then, forgive me. I'm pretty sure they said there's the messenger and the communication. Somebody probably got a degree in communications to correct me, but I just got back to Iraq, so I had other priorities. But anyway, it was really important stuff though. But the point being, we've got to get the messages to the right people, and we don't do a great job there right now. Now, I have faith it's getting better. I'm seeing the DNC get better. They got the money to do it. We've got candidates like Joe and John are going to get the money, hopefully, and get that message out, be smart about it, talk to them on social media. But I also think the reason I say this is because, facts are a bitch. Like I said, I see gas is $2.93 right now when I go to get gas. I see IKEA's cut their prices. Does that make sense? So while there is this strange, and many economists and political scientists are looking at this strange gap between reality and numbers, and it is unusual. It's Fox. It's OAN, it's Facebook, okay? People live in alternate realities. And I had a woman on my show a couple weeks ago, and the show was hilarious. Like, I almost peed my pants. Julia Jeske, she used to be a comedian. She's a St. Louis girl. And Julia, you gotta watch that. Just watch the bitch she does about Laura Ingraham's constantly changing face. and what they do, she watches Fox News. She got her master's in journalism watching Fox News, and it turns out that's a skill. She was as surprised as we were. She's, I actually got a scholarship. I'm like, that's cool. and what she's noticed, though, what they're good at is not telling certain stories. Like, they won't tell the good news. That's why we all kind of trumpet when they're forced to tell the good economic news, because they have no choice. And you saw it just today when a Fox polling person came on and said, Biden's in good shape. We're delusional. The idea, what these people are saying, that these Nikki Haley voters saying they're not going to vote for Trump, that's 25% of the party. He can't lose 5%. He sure as hell can't lose 20% of his own party. We want them to stay home. Look, politics, going back to that thing, politics is addition and subtraction. That's it. That's why I went into it. I'm done with a box of rocks. Don't be fooled by the Harvard degree. I was a special needs child. Okay? I write because I can't do math. But it is addition. I want less Republicans and more Dems to vote. Okay? Right now, there's more than us. Good, I want them to stay home. Okay? Our job is to make them stay home, or maybe vote for us. Don't try to convince them. Stand by your values. Stand by your democratic beliefs. Stand by what you stand for. Because as you saw, many of our issues resonate with people. And look, they're going to be quiet about it. You have to give them a permission structure to walk in that booth and go, Pete, and walk out. I used to joke. I did a town hall for Lincoln. I said, look, hey, we won't tell anybody. You don't have to tell anybody either. Just vote for D. We got that. So we are getting better. The Democrats are notoriously bad at messaging. It's kind of almost a cliche now. But I gotta tell you, I don't know if you've been paying attention to the Biden campaign and what they're doing with the little war room they've got. They're killing it right now. I mean, even I'm shocked. Now, I know the social media team. I actually got to visit them at the White House and spend some quality time with them, which is a cool privilege of being on a network. But they're really good, and they're really doing a much better job of hammering the ludicrousness. We got Hakeem Jeffries, who's really good at it, okay? And they're letting him do his thing. What a magical thing it was for Nancy Pelosi and her team to step down and let Hakeem take over in a peaceful transition of power to a brilliant man. And it's working. So I understand you're saying, Dems, it's almost a cliche, but even I'm starting to not agree with it, which is freaky because I'm not known for being an optimist. Actually, I am. But no, I think we have the right facts on our side. We just have to tell people.
Right.
And there is time. We're not out of time. Plenty of time.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I have a question for you. So when I've been out canvassing last cycle when I was running, and Dobbs fell and
Yeah.
Trump was here and all those things, it is hard to convince a Republican when you are a Jewish liberal New Yorker
Yeah.
in Wildwood.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Shocking to me.
it is a
You
struggle.
knew.
Yeah, it is. But one of my questions for people often is, when they are on the other side from me, I see this Trump era as something of a moral spectrum, if you will. And I feel that we all have a line that we can't cross. Like at some point, there's a line that you're like, that's it, that's too much for me.
Yeah.
Okay. And whatever it is for everybody, it's fine. Some of us still haven't found that line, which boggles my mind, but whatever. But as a former Republican, what was your line? I'm curious personally. If
Oh, what made me flop finally?
Yeah, what made you flop? Because like for me, I'm like blue
Rephrase the
from like
question.
New York blue. Like,
Rephrase the question.
In a nutshell, as a former Republican, what was the final straw for me and what
Yes.
made me flip to our side?
Yes.
One, I was probably a closet liberal the whole time. According to my ex-wife, she's always a risk-taking one, because I never cared about abortion. My first wife, who passed away, had an abortion at 16, and she got pregnant. The second time she had sex. Yeah, just something she carried. And then we couldn't have a kid for a while. She was freaking out the whole time, thinking she'd done. So I've had a personal experience with abortion, the results of abortion. It was a Catholic girl. Dad almost disowned her. Okay, so I've lived this. So I never cared about that. I had many gay nephews and nieces, cousins, all of my ex-wives. I don't remember my first wife's family is gay. They're lovely. They're the nicest people to me. So I never give a shit about that either. That's your life. Live it. I was strong on defense. I was a defense hawk. I was a soldier. I was a real-life fiscal conservative. I still am fiscal. That's the punchline, right? I'm still a fiscal conservative. I think it's horseshit that Governor Parson wants to send our soldiers to Texas and has the audacity and the balls to ask for $2.3 million for a political stunt for Donald Trump. At the same time, the son of a bitch cut $5 million out of the budget for recruiting. So our undermanned National Guard is going to take their old equipment to F in Texas so Donald Trump can say, look at this. Okay? Where's the fiscal conservatism in that? I'm just curious. You see what I'm saying? And these are conversations I have with my Republican friends. So you're conservative? Yes, fiscal conservative. No taxes. Great. $2.3 million to send 200 troops to lay down Concertina Wire in Texas. You're cool with that. Well, I'll abort. No. Stop. Where's the fiscal conservatism in spending my tax dollars for a stunt for our kids, by the way? Oh, by the way, fun touchline on that story. They're on state orders, which means they don't even get GI Bill, and they don't get TRICARE. So if one of our young daughters or sons gets hurt down there in Texas with a stupid mission, they have to file for workers' comp. Yeah, because of state orders. But hey, secure border, baby. I don't know if you guys have driven on 170 lately. We're sending 22 of our state troopers down there too. I joke when I moved back here 2.5 years ago that for some reason the highways here are uncovered space apparently, like international waters. You can do where the F you want on our highways because nobody's going to pull you over. We're sending our state troops to F in Texas. So for me, in the end, it was that kind of seeing that. But the honest to God, I actually have a final straw. The final straw for me as a soldier was when he said John McCain wasn't a hero because I like people that weren't captured. And here's the thing, it wasn't that sick, because I think Donald Trump's a shithead. I always hate him. I met him before he ran, because he used to give money to the Elizabeth Dole Foundation, which is my client. Senator Dole's a dear friend, which is my weird wife. And that sucker, that after she came to an event, I was like, oh, you're just a slut. He just uses everybody. But what got me was, I was a veterans advocate at the time. That was my business. one of the reasons my business went out of business. And I looked around, I said, this is it, he's done. Man, all my veteran friends, they're done. That's it. That's a line you will never cross. 3 months later, Rolling Thunder, the motorcycle POW ride in Washington, D.C., invited Donald Trump to be the keynote speaker at the end of the ride. An event honoring POWs. And they invited a guy who said, POWs are losers, to speak. And that's why I said, shit, something's different, right? Anyway, I closed my company, not long after that, because nobody would hire me. I literally had a nonprofit tell me they couldn't hire me, because the board of directors, they were worried they wouldn't get invited to the White House anymore. So for me, it was sort of gradual, like what was it? It's slow, then really fast. So anyway, my point being, turn their words against. So add these conversations, say, what's fiscal conservative to you? What's the idea? What would you do if your daughter was raped and she had to carry the baby? It's just 9 months, right? What's the big deal?
Absolutely.
Turn those on them. They're very hard conversations. But I go back to what I said earlier. Don't effing bother either, right? There is a certain line where you say, look, I'm not going to turn this person. We have different morals at this point. There are those out there, and they're quiet. They're like me. They're like Rena Shaw, my friend, up in D.C. She's pro-life, but not for everybody else. She doesn't give a shit what you do with your life. There's those people out there. They're quiet, and you may get 10 or 15 of them. But I don't think, and Joe and I had this conversation, he's probably swarming because we had it. You know, don't waste your time trying to, look, here's my point. If you're a candidate, there's 2 of them in the room. You may get 3, if you try to go like, Tim Ryan. You guys remember Tim Ryan? Steve Schmidt was this guy, and my friend Steve Schmidt, well, ex-friend now. Steve Schmidt was this guy, trying to be Republican, right? Tim ran, look, I got a motorcycle, I'm a badass, I got guns. But I'm a Dem. He got his ass kicked. Because he's not a Republican, he's a Dem. And so you pretend, so for every 3 Republicans you get, you're gonna lose 6 Dems. Right? Because we all smell bullshit. We can smell somebody who doesn't share our values. And the worst case scenario is they just stay home. Right? So if you spend a lot of your money, the little you may have, trying to get a few Republicans to come over, you may lose the ones you need, which is us people. That's what Marcus did. Marcus down in Georgia was constantly saying, Fred, don't go too hard. We need them to vote for us. Marcus, I had a lady tell me to my face at a door in front of a black neighbor that I love Marjorie Taylor Greene because she makes you people so damn mad. Walked away, and her neighbor's like, got any flyers? I guess, sir, here you go. Stickers? Here you go. Button. Wear a button. I got a I'm not going to convince that crazy bitch. Okay? So don't bother. I need the guy on the front porch to vote because he felt hopeless, and we gave him hope. Make sense? That's just Fred's opinion. What do I know? Anything else? Ma'am.
Living here in Missouri, we get very little, or at least I don't watch much TV, get very little pro-democratic or
True.
People don't even know, I would say a lot of people don't even know who's running for governor.
Yeah, I just saw that the other day. So you pointed that out. Crystal Quay's fought the other night.
Yeah, I just found out about her today, but there's other really crazy Republicans we don't know, we don't see, we don't hear.
Mm-hmm.
And like the same thing that you said about John McCain, which is one of the turning points for my husband, we don't hear that message.
No.
We see, what they hear is Donald Trump is strong for the military. He's not.
No.
But that what they hear, and on the sites that I pay attention to, which has some Democrats and some crazies, they don't hear, because what they hear is this loud message that comes from Fox News,
Mm-hmm.
OAM, Newsmax, and what's that stupid thing that Donald Trump has?
Truth Social.
Oh yeah, Truth. And so here in Missouri, what are the Democratic Party going to do to get the message out? Because there's a lot of Democrats that aren't going to vote because they don't like Joe Biden and they don't like Donald Trump, so they're just going to stay home.
Mm-hmm.
The Donald Trump troops, while they may not be the majority, are awfully strong and hard to turn. So what I think needs to happen, or my opinion is, we need to start hearing the message that this guy from New York City is a fruitcake.
Yeah.
And
he does a really great job of showing himself, maybe.
but believe it,
No, I know, and they live in an alternate facts universe. The good news is that it's getting smaller. That percentage of people still, I know it's hard to believe because they're super loud, but it's a very loud minority. I know it's hard to believe, but it's true. Now, having said that, I have those in my family. My girlfriend's dad didn't want to meet me for a year because he heard I was a Lego Project guy. Okay, well, actually, really nice. Go to Harvard. You know, but it is. You're right. But this isn't just Missouri. Everyone's got this problem. We have a profit media that wants to be fair, and so they're trying to make Donald Trump seem like a normal candidate instead of a nut job, right? So they're trying to bend, and they're very pressured. One of my frustrations with the Biden administration the first years, and I told them when I visited the White House, was stop giving a shit what Fox News thinks. There was a real pain in those first 2 years in that damn administration where they would couch things, they would hold back on things, they were afraid, they knew what the backlash would be. And I tell people all the time, we know what they're gonna say. If I could have gone to Anheuser-Busch and told them, look, just understand, when you give a can of beer to Dylan Mulvaney, it's going to blow up in your face. Because that's what I do for a living. I could have told you that. They should know that. The same thing with Biden. Look, they're going to be pissed at you no matter what. So stop caring. Tell the truth, and they're doing it better. Social media is the key, but this is what we're talking about turnout operations. It's get out the vote, it's knocking on doors, it's writing, it's grunt work. I wish I had a better answer. It's why we got to give people like Joe and John back here so they have the money to put ads on the air, and put social media, digital ads to target you. And then people like you, the nice thing about being in a red state is there's not that many blue dots, so it's easy to knock doors. Yeah, get yourself, I know it sounds stupid, there's, like, Cherry Hill's be easy, it's probably 4 of us.
The other thing from here in Missouri is I get at least maybe 2 or 3 requests a week or more for money from Democrats, candidates.
It's a little out of control too.
Not in Missouri.
Oh yeah, well they settled this.
And it's like, does not the Democratic Party care about the state of Missouri?
They don't control that.
And that's.
I had this conversation with Jamie. It's about priorities. Understand what the DNC does. The DNC helps state parties, right?
Right.
But in the end, the state party's got to help itself.
Correct.
We're blessed to have Russ now and Matthew Patterson, whom I like a lot. I think they're doing good things. It's not going to be a one-day turnaround. It's not going to be a one-cycle turnaround. I wish I'd tell you. So I think this message, I did leave out my speech. You've heard me before. I'm a veteran. In World War II, we were winning from about day 6. Let's be honest, after Pearl Harbor, right? I mean, we were turning the tide almost immediately, but it still took 3 years, right? 4 years, it took 3. And imagine us here in Missouri, we're France, right by the German border. And while we're winning elsewhere, it's going to take a while for the main force to get here, right? In the meantime, people like us have to hold the line, do a little resistance action, do a little guerrilla work, do a little counterinsurgency. I'm good at it. It's what I did for a living, for like 3 cycles. In Iraq, I taught counterinsurgency. It's a lot of grunt work, it's signs, it's social media. I wish I could tell you an easy answer. We do the Missouri Independent, I'm very proud of them. I love the Statesman, Kansas City Star's breaking through. You got my friend Tony Messenger with the Post-Dispatch. The Post-Dispatch still got real red in my big. But you got, what's the lady who's an ex-Republican herself? Lynn Schmidt, who has turned. She sends me all her articles now. Fred, I just attacked Hawley. It's like almost like subversive for her to attack Josh Hawley. And then there's just goddamn common sense. Hawley's an idiot. Okay? He's terrible. Ann Wagner doesn't even meet her own freaking constituents. We gotta tell people that to see it. I wish I had an easy answer, and I wish I could give you real hope. It may not be this cycle. These 2 gentlemen are taking it for the team. We're not guaranteed either going to win. God bless John. Who knows? I mean, they gerrymandered the shit of the state. They keep gerrymandering it. So it's not. But you know how the Republicans have owned us for 20 years? Because they spent 20 years trying it, getting there, right?
And they've got a louder message. I mean,
They
they're
do.
loud. And not that they're good message.
No.
They're loud.
They have the backup. Now, I had an interview with a guy, he just called me today, as a matter of fact. Gentleman ran against Sarah Huckabee Sanders for governor down in Arkansas. And he's a doctor, he's an astrophysicist and a preacher. It's an interesting combination. and he said it, because Fred, when I go around Arkansas, he's like, look, man, I don't know why you're bothering. It's going to take 10 years to turn the state around. He said, okay, great. Well, it's going to take 10 years starting now. Okay? It's 12 years we start next cycle. Okay? So I'm with a group called It Starts Today. It starts today. It has to start today. And I'd love to tell you it's going to be easy. We may not see the end. If you watch Andor, Star Wars, no, right? Remember his speech? With a great speech. If you watch that show, and if you're Star Wars, watch Andor. You're not a Star Wars person, it's really good. But it talks about the seeds of insurgency. That's the whole show is around the seeds of the revolution and the empire. And there's this wonderful episode, second last episode, the guy's like, what are you getting out of this? I'm nothing. I'm giving up everything. I'm fighting for a cause I may never see succeed in my lifetime. And I wish I had good news, but that's us here in this really red state. But it wasn't when you were a kid. It wasn't when I was a kid. I lived down the street from my college with a Democrat. He sent me to West Point. Right? Kirkwood was right above it down. It's possible, and we could do it. It just takes some work. Sir?
We plant trees.
That's it.
I'm just saying, yeah.
That's it. It's exactly it. I may never see that oak come out that thing. But that's what we're stupidly hopeful people. That's what keeps us going. Sir?
So, I don't see a lot of young people. I mean,
there you go.
A lot of you are younger than me, okay? But
I'm not.
But how do we make sure our younger generations don't live in an alternate reality where they don't understand that you've got to be engaged? You've got to run for office, okay? And you've got to be involved in grassroots work.
Yeah.
And I, over the years, I've heard a lot of young people say, well, the only way we can get anything done is by protesting in the streets. And that's a horrifying perspective on politics. Okay?
Yeah.
So do you get any and you also, in the military, a lot of young kids come from the rural.
Oh, yeah.
So you any perspective?
Hey, man, my first roommate at West Point was a black kid from Detroit.
Yeah. So, but
I came from Kirkwood. They closed Osage Elementary, so we had one black student in my entire time I was there. I ended up at Robinson. I was bused to Robinson after the educated, right? I'm one of those guys. I was a desegregated kid here, so I get it.
So how do we?
So the good news is they're engaged, a lot of them, right? I work with Voters for Tomorrow, which is a Gen Z activist group. I just got recruited by another one. They're very engaged, much more than we ever been. They're also not turning conservative as they get older, contrary to popular belief. They're staying liberal. And they are engaged. It's a matter of talking to them. I have my girlfriend has 2 teenagers at home. My kids are in their 20s. My daughter was just telling Eugene Vindman's campaign manager today how her and her brother turned me liberal. And she broke me. And we need universal health care. I know, you're breaking my ass with this endometriosis and fibromyalgia. You're killing me. I believe in universal health care. So they are actually a smart cage. It's giving them it's like a loaded gun. It's pointing in the right direction. What you just described is someone's like, I got to protest. That's a technique. Or you could call up Joe and say, Joe, can I intern your campaign? Or can I organize? Which he's had, right? And John will too at some point. Call WashU or call Webster. You say, hey, got any motivated kids? It's like any loaded gun. You got to point it the right direction. Otherwise, it's going to blow up in your face, right? But we just talk to them. And with my girlfriend, we got these young men that are being totally led astray by these Andrew Tate jackwads and everybody else, right? We have to have conversations, very honest conversations. And they are being told the wrong thing, this TikTok crap. Oh man, RFK is cool. No, he's a nut job. Let me tell you why. Vivek Ramaswamy for a while there was getting their attention. The good news is, he ain't work because he's also a nut job and he failed. So for me, there are groups they can join. There's student Democratic groups. The young Democrat of the Year this year is a kid from St. Charles, he's the party chair at St. Charles, for God's sake. He's the ED over there. How old is that kid? 19, Clayton? He's like 19. I mean, come on.
When we need him at these meetings.
I agree. But look, man, let's be honest.
21?
Well, that's it.
25, were you there? I mean.
Dude, I don't even go to the VFW because I'm too young. It's like.
It doesn't mean that they're not political.
There you go. I agree.
And anyone that went to the training for the petition signing?
Yeah.
They were all.
Because you know why? They're pissed.
There were tons of kids.
Well, I was going to say the thing, one of your talks about these younger people under 40 don't give a crap whether you're gay or not. That doesn't matter to them. They don't care.
I was there for Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Let me tell you, I know.
They don't care. Go live your life. It's
Did
not
care.
something I care about voting about.
But also what they do care about, because you're kind of rosy. I'm not trying to knock you down because I love you. I think you do a great job. But I think you're really rosy on the outlook of Joe Biden, and not just because he's 80 years old.
I agree.
But for young people, my kids are totally political, and young people, they don't like him at all. Like zero like. They're like, here's what it's like. It'd be like somebody when I was young, here's what it's like. When I was young, World War II veterans ran the country.
Oh, I get it.
And the young people it literally was anybody, well, they all did in this room, they lived through the 70s and 60s.
Yep.
There was a total divide on age. There was young people and there was older people. And it was expressed in the streets. It was expressed in the voting. It was totally split, and it's not that way now because young people, they don't care if this cars cost more. They care how much money they make to put on their food on their table.
Yeah.
My daughter right now, she has a good job, but she's busting her ass just to make it every month, and she makes like $55,000 a year with bonuses $75,000, and she barely makes it. So I go to the store with my wife and I see stuff, and it's on the Democratic Party to get this message out. I see on the thing, it was just on the news tonight, where Kellogg's has gone up 27% in a year. Well, to me and everybody in here, I don't care because who cares? It's $5 instead of $4. But if somebody making no money, it's a lot of money. And so that's the message that needs to get through. The Democratic Party cares about you. And if they don't think they care about you, then they flip all those blue-collar workers, and that's what happened in 16. All these people that thought they were disenfranchised, don't tell me to calm down. All these people that were disenfranchised,
I'm not offended at all. But I gotta tell you you're wrong. Let me cut you off because we're out of time.
But I was wrong because
Take your point.
happened.
Okay, but here's the thing. Again, I work with Gen Z activist groups, okay? They do know what the hell's about. And it's not just Joe. And the point we have to make, and this is where I go back to the Truman and the Do Nothing Congress. Truman figured out he wasn't going to beat Nestle Dewey, but he was going to beat the Republican Party. And this is why I have Kevin Cruz on my show on Wednesday, because that's the message Friday is going to be on. It's the same message. We've got a do-nothing Republican Party. We've got people trying to take away their rights. We've got people trying to undermine their economic good. We have to that message. And you and I have to have that conversation with those kids, our own kids, right? Tell them, here's my daughter gets it. She's going to do an ad for Eugene Finman. Because she runs a small business. What's going to happen to a business in Fredericksburg, fucking Virginia, if they shut the government down? Everybody in Northern Virginia works for the government. She barely survived the last shutdown because they all stopped spending about a week out. It's not just government employees. We're all set because one of our opponents, these maggot chuds, is going to say, I'm glad you're shutting the government down. They spend too much money. And we are going to fucking hammer them. But it is about messaging. And it's not just the DNC's job, okay? We live in Missouri.
Here's a perfect example. They showed that 80% of the money that's going to Ukraine is actually going to American companies here in the United States.
Including Missouri.
But that message is not getting out to if you told a Republican that, they'd be shocked. They'd be like, what?
You can't blame DNC for that, okay? That's the assholes like Josh Hawley who are lying.
Right.
We have to tell the truth on that. And again, it starts in this conversation right here.
It starts with advertising. You have to advertise.
Well, we're just getting started, buddy, because it's just February, right? Okay? I mean, it's not even the general campaign yet. We're still in primary season. This fucking primary goes all to August in this crazy state. Right. So I agree with you 100%, and that's going to happen. That's why I'm going back.
I'm a San Francisco liberal. She's from New York, but I'm from San Francisco.
I love it.
Just like,
I'm from here. We're right at the end. You're right at the end. I did go to the airport to pick up my girlfriend, and she's very tall and very pretty, so I gotta go. Last question. Yeah? Okay, good. Well, I hope that was okay. I love plaques. I was in the Army.
No.
We love just a ribbon thrown on the wall. I just walked here. Yeah, I just walked here. I love it. Wonderful. One of the best things I've gotten. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Thanks for your time. Hope I didn't offend
Be sure to join us next month. We're going to have a very special program with a special agent talking about child sex trafficking. You'll learn more about it. We can't tell his name. We can't do any of that stuff. But if you come, you'll hear who he is, and he is right in the nitty-gritty of trying to stop child sex trafficking. So, with that, go forth, have fun.
Prosper.
Get to work.